Big Dog Chief or Big Chief Dog. Which one do we want to put? Wow, that looks horrible. That's the heart monitor. The the city of Wayne's antics had led me to have a heart monitor. Thank you guys, City of Wayne. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. But anywho, just eating some carrots, peas, and sardines. Breakfast of champions. Hello. Sardines, baby. But I want to announce something that I'll be doing. It's called the Let 'Em Eat Cake campaign. So basically, the idea is every Tuesday we buy cakes at Dairy Queen because they're half off, right? And then we allow them to eat cake. Because I don't know about where you guys live, but where I live, there's the let 'em eat cake mentality. And it's something that I want to really highlight and exemplify. I mean, after all, I am a Wayno. And so, given the fact that I'm a Wayno, I have to think outside the box, right? And Waynos do things a little differently if you didn't notice. That's why this channel exists. But it's kind of like a mockery, right? Like I'm trying to mock the city of Wayne government. Let them eat cake, because they are the political elites, right? So they think in Wayne. And they just have an unsatiable appetite for power and corruption. So what they say goes, and that's the bottom line. What they say goes in their zip code, right? So they think. So they think. Damn, can't get this last piece of sardine. There we go. But I hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas. I got to get this goop off my chest. This is where the heart monitor was because of all the heart palpitations I've been having. But that hurt. That hurt getting taken off. That was like you guys seen the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin, right? With Steve Carell, and he's at the massage, or not the massage parlor, but the beauty salon. I don't know, a little Asian parlor of sorts, right? Getting his wax on, and he looked like had all the dingleberries and shit. That's how it felt. That shit hurt. That shit hurt. But that's okay. That's okay. See, this is me, fat fuck. This is me as fat as I've ever been in my life. The most out of shape, fat motherfucker I've ever been. You are looking at him now. You are looking at him now. So get a good look. Get a good look. Sup. Sup, sup. Zanron, 6057, sup. Where you from, dude? Hope everybody's having a jolly, jolly Christmas. Oh, you're from Montucky, Montcalm County, Michigan? That's where you're from? What part? What town? What township? What township? Oh, you're from Wayne? Yeah. How's that working out for you? How do you feel about Wayne? How long have you lived in Wayne? LOL. Yeah. Not a big fan of the police. Not a lot to be a fan of, really. I mean, I don't honestly see. I don't see the point of them, to be honest with you. They don't solve crimes. Um, they have enough resources to, you know, send 6 or 7 cars deep for a fire pit, right? But call one in the middle of the day if you actually need something, and good luck. I mean, to be fair, they've been called a few times, and sometimes they're responsive. But that's, kind of like the standard, right? I mean, we're not asking for MacGyver here, right? We're just asking for competence, for consistency. What's up from Switzerland? How you doing, buddy? Been here for about 17 years. I grew up in Inkster. Wow. Yeah, Inkster's better than Wayne. I mean, marginally, but it's sad. It's sad that even Inkster's got more going on than Wayne does. I think everywhere's got more going on than Wayne, which is crazy. Because, I mean, with that Ford factory and, like all those dispensaries on Michigan Avenue, there shouldn't be a broken sidewalk or road anywhere in the city of Wayne. I mean, the amount of money that Ford makes, right? They own, like a fifth of Wayne, and man, maybe a sixth, a seventh, an eighth. I mean, they own a big portion of it, the biggest lot in the entire city. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Officer Cannon arrested me the day after Christmas last year for jaywalking in a subdivision. Sounds about right. That's what got me started recording them. Yeah, you got to record them. You got to record them, record them, record them. Uh, yeah, what you just described, that would be considered vagrancy, right? You're an undesirable person. It's crazy, but that's why I was in jail, was because I was guilty of wrong think, right? I was guilty of wrong think, and I didn't toe the line, right? I didn't play along to get along, or go along to get along, or whatever the fuck they say, right? I stood my ground, right? I had conviction, right? I had a standard. I had morals, right? And yeah, I had to pay the price, right? I had to. I had to. This city of Wayne, that was hell bent and destined that I was going to pay the price. You see, Officer Cannon. Yeah, whatever happened with that? Did you file a lawsuit over that? Arrested for jaywalking. Yeah, sounds about right. Considering how much we pay on property taxes, you would think we would have more, but we can't even get an extra garbage can if you need one. Yeah, you got to pay your own way in Wayne, right? Don't expect that 4 or 5 or 6 grand you're spending on those property taxes. Don't expect anything for your money. Don't expect any competence. Don't expect any integrity and accountability from your government. Don't expect anything from your council people, from your city clerk, from your tax assessors, from your building and engineering office. Don't expect anything, you peasant. How dare you, right? That's the Let 'em Eat Cake campaign that we're starting. Every Tuesday, we buy out Dairy Queen in Westland and we pass out cakes. So the peasants, right? The peasants, right? Because these are the elites we're talking about. So the peasants can eat cake, right? Or hell, even they can eat cake, right? We should all eat cake, right? Let them eat cake, right? That's the mentality in Wayne. Fuck it, let them eat cake. Yeah, well, I got you guys. Don't worry about it. I spent some time in Jackson, Michigan, back in the 70s. How was that? How was 1970s Jackson, Michigan? Was it decent back then? I mean, it certainly ain't really much to see anymore, but I heard good things about Jackson back in the day. Aurora, wow. How do you say it? Aurora Borealis, Switzerland. Damn. How's Switzerland? Though that's okay. Those videos made me enough to buy a car. What videos? You record? Oh, you recorded the guy, Officer Cannon. Is he still working for Wayne? That's okay. Those videos made me enough money to buy a car. Hard to find a lawyer that will do it pro bono. Not exactly sure how to do it myself. Oh, he no longer works for Wayne. Oh, it's not hard, dude. Um, yeah, send me your info or put a way to get in contact with you, dude. Hard to find a lawyer that will do it pro bono. Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Lawyers are only interested in money. Um, they'll swear that they're the most ethical people ever, right? They're the most pure people on earth, right? That's what they'll claim. They're not. Newsflash, and they just really want your money, and they want as much of it as humanly possible, and they want it frequently and often. And even if you have that, even if you provide that to them, don't expect them to answer their phone or actually work. Or especially don't expect them to do anything that would get your case dismissed or several charges dismissed at the very least. Don't expect them to do that, right? William J. Mays and Jermaine Warwick, isn't that right, guys? Yeah, don't expect them to file evidentiary hearings or motions to suppress, or motions to dismiss. Don't expect any of that, right? I know you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars, but don't expect to get any sort of competent legal assistance. It's just not how it seems to work. Um, they just want to make as many hearings as possible. Then they can keep the facade going, the money going, the choo choo train going. Um, but yeah, you don't really need a lawyer. Pro bono, you actually have more advantage than with a lawyer. They have to act more lenient, more liberal with you, and really with AI, legal AI is taking over, right? AI in general is taking over a lot of industries, but especially the legal industry. That's the thing that they're really scared of. A lot of these judges, lawyers, and the courts in general, the officers of the courts, right? They're very worried about AI because they know. I mean, once an algorithm can read, once the AI can read a law book this thick, right? And it can read every case law and study every transcript and memorize it verbatim and compile it into a giant database and be able to reference it in a millisecond. They know that you know they're going to be obsolete, right? That's what I'm most thankful for AI is it's going to be in the future. Well, I mean, the courts are going to try to outlaw it. Mark my words, they're going to try to prevent it from being prevalent, right? Because it directly threatens their existence, their jobs. So their jobs, as they call it, because right, they'll claim that that's a job, which it's not. It's actually a privilege to be an attorney and to practice law. It's a luxury, right? And they, like I said, they're in for a rude awakening. These officers of the courts, because AI really is a game changer, and it gives the little guy a fighting chance, and that's ultimately what they're the most concerned about is the fact that, back in the day, they had all these kind of ways to, and they've been doing this to me, right? Making transcripts inaccessible, overly expensive, you know, having inaccurate register of actions. I mean, there's all kinds of tricks that these courts will do to prevent you from getting real justice, right? But there is a solution. It's called, legal AI, Chat GPT Premium. There's other AI programs that really, you know, it takes a minute to get it down pat and to understand it, but once you do, it's really night and day difference. Night and day difference. So yeah, fuck spending money on a lawyer. Spend that on yourself. Spend that on some good equipment, good microphones, because I'm very excited to see where AI is going to go as far as helping regular everyday people deal with police misconduct and government municipal misconduct, right? So I reached out to you when the shit first started happening on Facebook. I never got a reply. Yeah, they had my phone for like 6 months, right? So seemed like it. Switzerland is great. Michigan Ave was the place to be back in the day. It was very nice. Yeah, I bet. I bet it was. I would love for them just to take a look at the Wayne and my Westland case. Both got dismissed. And tell me if there's anything there. I believe there may be. Yeah, there probably is, dude. We need to get in contact. Our police must complete 4 years of education and 2 to 3 years as a rookie before becoming a full-time police officer. Yeah, as they should, right? I mean, that's the thing in America. We don't have standards. It's racist and sexist to have standards, and we just let police officers with 6 weeks of training right out of the kiddie academy. They could carry a gun and harass the shit out of you and blow your brains out if they want. Oops, qualified immunity, right, guys? Yeah, yeah, I know it. It's insane that in like other developed countries, like Switzerland, right? Got to have 4 years of education. Which, I mean, to be fair, in Switzerland, there's probably real education still. In America, there really isn't. So, I would venture that 4 years of education actually means something over in Switzerland. It really doesn't mean shit here because they hand out diplomas like they hand out STDs, right? It's kind of everyone can get them. 2 to 3 years as a rookie before becoming a full-time police officer. Yeah, I mean that's probably the most important part, right? Actually having on-the-job experience. But see, in America, even if we had that, I don't think would fix it, right? Because we have this qualified immunity garbage, and we have a culture in which, like in Wayne, for instance, right? It's very like you against them type of ordeal, right? How everything's structured, right? How the council manager, or I'm sorry, yeah, the council manager system is structured, and how it operates, right? It needless to say, you can see that they're trying to protect themselves, right? They're trying to self-preserve themselves, right? Which I guess when you look at it from a survival instinct, I mean, I guess you understand it, but from an ethical and a moral and a legal standpoint, it's absolutely repugnant. But yeah, police must complete 4 years of education, 3 years, 2 to 3 years as a rookie. Yeah, that should be the gold standard, right? That should be the bare minimum, especially if you're going to give someone basically unlimited power, and authority, right? Then, but in America, we don't believe in accountability, especially not in Wayne, Michigan. Yeah, the last lawyer I spoke to said that I have a case in his opinion, but it's not enough money for them to take it. Basically, I didn't get my butt kicked. Yeah, well, that's where like I said, act as your own lawyer. Federal U.S. District Court is runs and operates a bit differently than the criminal courts. So, I mean, at least for the experience of it, right? Because at the very least, they have to show up, they have to respond to it. and they have to work, right? So just like they inconvenienced you by beating your ass, right? It's kind of the principle, right? What goes around comes around, eye for an eye. And I think at the very least, it's $400 well spent. It's $400 well spent. You know, pool the money together, save it up, and then, like I said, Chat GPT can you basically input all of your, everything into it, all the details, and then it boom spits you out a pretty coherent response. And given the fact that you're pro se, you're not expected to be a lawyer because you're not a lawyer. But the law has, on paper, accommodations for that, right? So they have to act more lenient, more liberal, give you time to amend things, to re-explain things, and it's actually, in my opinion, it's better than paying for lawyers, right? Because lawyers, like in my case, the reason why I was set in jail on Thanksgiving was because of lawyers, right? Because William J. Mays failed to do his duty, which was to file a motion to suppress evidence, for one, motion to dismiss charges, motions to, dismiss bond conditions, amend bond conditions. I mean, there's so many things, right, that any lawyer who's not a piece of shit would have done. But in my opinion, right, like I said, I'm allowed to have an opinion. Guy's a piece of shit, fat piece of shit, cigarette smelling piece of shit. He just sweats like a pig, and it just stinks like fucking like booze, in my opinion. From what I could smell, right now, I'm just crazy schizo, right? What do I know? But what do I know? But that's what I remember smelling was body odor. Smelled like smelled like nasty ass New England clam chowder, right? And cigs. Just no, not a good experience on that one. But I didn't get my butt kicked enough. Yeah. I love a sassy AI. Yeah, me too. I love an AI that just tells it like it is. Yeah, I don't know all that stuff. I'm still a rookie when it comes to cop watching. Are you still running for mayor? Yes, 2028. I'm definitely running to get rid of the status quo. It's that simple, right? It's just really that simple. For example, weed is legal. Drinking in public is not a crime. Prostitution is legal. But if a cop asks for ID, one must prevent or be detained immediately. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like with all the immigration stuff, right? I mean that's kind of what they hide behind. You know. Yeah, weed is legal. I mean, I don't know. Is that really a marker of freedom? I mean, is it really legal? Can I put 24 plants in my backyard right now? No, really can't. I mean, I could, but then they're gonna, you're gonna be harassed for it. You're gonna be, unless, like I said, unless you live in an area where you have the space to do it. I mean, yeah, you can do 12. I know that, but still, they're still gonna harass you for it. You're still gonna be fucked with. You're not free, like in the sense that you're gonna be able to not have to look over your shoulder and shit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, weed should be legal. Drinking in public is not a crime, and it shouldn't be a crime. Prostitution is legal, but if a cop asks for ID, one must prevent or be detained immediately. Yeah, it's same way in America, dude. I mean, more or less. You got to fight it out in court, whatever that means. A year later in civil court, you get to have your chance for them to finally admit, oh yeah, we broke the law, our bad, right? Yeah, some sort of justice. How long do you got to bring up a case against you? Do you know? Um, I'm not sure on that. I would assume probably within a year or two. Maybe 3. I'm not sure. Not sure on that. But yeah, 12 plants you can grow in Michigan, but definitely, depends on your zip code, right? Because even though the state law says you can do something, 26th of December will be 1 year. Yeah, I would just say get that filed then, dude, if you got the money. I mean, at the very least, just on the principle of the matter, just so the guy's got to show up, and you know, it's just like they do to you, right? I mean, the process, the punishment is the process, right? The process is the punishment. So, where's my lid at? So, kind of it's the same way for them, right? And who knows? Maybe you'll win. Maybe at the very least, you'll get the courts to recognize that your rights were violated, and you know, you never know. Well, I got you under both my channels. Glad I finally caught you live. Yeah, I mean, you should just stop by. Dude. Where do you? I mean, obviously you probably don't want to put it here, but send me an email or something, or just stop by, text me. I don't know. Call my phone. Let me see. Is there a way to put anything on here? Create hive live video. You might still have my Facebook message. No, they had my Facebook deleted, and then City of Wayne, that is. They mass flagged it as impersonating a public official. Right. Yeah, impersonating John Racy. Snaggletooth John Racy impersonating John Racy. That's fucking hilarious. John Racy lives in a shack on the east side of Wade that his daddy gave to him. And I'm being accused of impersonating that jack off. That's sorry fuck. That's a good one. That's a funny joke. One may grow as much as you like. Yeah, I mean, there gets to a point like anything, right? It can be a nuisance if it's not properly maintained. But yeah, I always will choose freedom over tyranny, no doubt. I'll take the consequences of freedom versus tyranny any day of the week. Yeah, I definitely don't have your Facebook message, dude. You have to email me. Send me an email, JerichoFlowers81@gmail.com. JeriCho Flowers81@gmail. Yeah, you too, buddy. Good catching up with you, dude. Gotta hit the sack. Take care, buddy. Murder mitten male monster. Mayo, not male. That's funny. Male, not male. Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. Just text me, dude. 248-717-1557. Send me a text. Yeah, dude. We should link up. Go record some of these fine Wayne police officers together, because they're so fine. They're so fine and necessary and proud, and especially the fire department too, man. They're just heroes. You guys wouldn't believe. You guys should have saw them on May 9th, May 19th, and July 5th, man. They came in guns blazing. They were running towards the danger. And they saved everyone that day. They cleared the whole house. No, I'm lying, of course. I'm just lying. But yeah, they were heroic, all right. Were they not, baby? They were heroic those days. My God, they got the fire truck out. They got the fire hose out after like an hour, right? And then they rolled it down the hill, and they put that big bad fire out. That fucking smoldering pile of logs. Oh man, yeah, it was heroic stuff. What do they call it? Heroism? How do you say it? Heroism? Yeah, it was just, man. I learned listen, guys, listen, City of Wayne. On May 9th, May 19th, and July 5th, I learned I learned what real bravery was. Like I thought I knew. I thought I had seen some shit in the army. I met some people that did some really cool stuff. Right. I met some very influential people. Heard a lot of really influential people speak. Right. Seen a lot of bravery. I thought I knew bravery, guys, but I had no idea until May 9th, May 19th, and July 5th when I learned what real bravery was. Okay. City of Wayne and their antics. Jeremy Schneider, right? Fire marshal, right? Man. Carolyn Miller, right? Yeah, you guys are real brave people, man. I swear. I've never seen such bravery and courage, right? Than what I've seen from them, right? Because yeah, those were some big bad fires. Those were worse than the fire I posted the other day in Detroit. That house burning to the ground. Yeah, that was just insane. I mean, the amount of bravery, right? You know, it didn't take them an hour, and it was just it was real bravery, right? Let me just put it that way. Wink, wink. You know, and yeah, I thought I knew what bravery was until I met the city of Wayne. Man, council people too. Like I said, all of them up there, man. Everyone in that room every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, right? City council meeting, right? All those city officials, those big wigs, those are heroes, right? Real heroes, not the army veterans, not the people who are in the Michigan Defense Force, not the National Guard, not the Army Reserves, not the active duty Army, not the Air Force, Marines, and Navy, and Space Force, and Coast Guard, not those people. No. The city of Wayne, those are the real heroes. Yeah, city council heroes. Yeah, right. That's the joke. Let's see here. Gotta hit the sack. I'm getting ready to crash out. Take myself a nap. The dude with the mustache and the mullet has an attitude problem. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he thinks he's fucking badass with that mullet and mustache. Thinks he's a badass. Yeah, he was one of the trespassers on my property. That's what I call him, deputy douchebag. The guy that arrested you pulled me over on my moped last year on Valentine's Day. The guy's a douchebag. Oh yeah, MOS 68 Charlie moped. Yeah, I figured. Sorry, using voice chat. My hands are full. Yeah, city council heroes. Is Christopher Sanders still involved with the city of Wayne? No. So Christopher Sanders. I don't know. I don't know the exact details. I haven't looked over his case file. I know very little, but from my amateur understanding, Chris Sanders got fucked over by the city of Wayne. Um, you know, he crossed the city of Wayne, and somehow or another, magically, lo and behold, he got arrested. Right? Kind of similar to my experience, although I can't vouch if Christopher Sanders is innocent or guilty. Um, but yeah, very similar kind of pattern, right? Christopher Sanders spoke out against old boy John Racy and the city council and Lisa Nosarini, and then just like Mark Blackwell and Anthony Miller, he had to pay the price too. Um, I don't think he's actively involved. I don't think Chris Sanders is actively involved anymore. He has some dirt on his hands. I know him from way back when his dad used to own Fight Club. Yeah, I mean, he probably does. I mean, listen, I would say virtually most Americans, vast majority of Americans, vast majority of human beings on earth have skeletons in their closets. But do I think Christopher Sanders is a well-intended guy? I do. I do. I think as far as a councilman, he was good. And I think he's certainly more honest and trustworthy than John Racy, okay, or Tina Parnell, or Kevin Dowd, or Donald Quarles, or Kathy Lawrence, or Deborah Wise, or whatever the hell her name is, Rob Darwich, Alfred Brock, right? Yeah, I think he's got more integrity than those people would ever have, which isn't really saying much, but you know. Brita O'Leary and what's her name? Carrie Miller, Michael Bosnick, right? Jeremy Schneider, Fire Marshal, Deputy Chief of Police Finley Carter, Ryan Strong, Chief of Police. Yeah, I think he's got more integrity and more ethical principle than those people for sure. Those people that I just mentioned are truly the most repugnant, acting, unconstitutionally behaving people I've ever come across in my life, by far. Without even Diane Webb too. Can't forget about old Diane Webb. I almost forgot about her. Yeah, Diane Webb. She's the city manager, right? But she's on video saying, "Oh, it's above my head," right? Like, well, who's above the city manager? Answer that question. That's the question. Oh, it's above the chief of police's head too. He doesn't know nothing. Nobody knows nothing. They all sit in the same building together. They all work in the same building, or within a tenth of a mile radius, right? But nobody knows nothing. It's amazing, right? Such a small town. Everyone went to school together. Everybody knows everybody, but somehow they don't know nothing. They work in the same building or next door or down the street. They meet twice a week in the same building, but nobody knows nothing, right? Nobody knows nothing. It's amazing. Amazing. But yeah, I don't think Christopher Sanders is still involved with the city of Wayne directly. I know he's still got some influence, though. He's still got some pull. Like I said, I have nothing against Christopher Sanders. As far as I don't know, I've never heard anything. I've heard crazy shit about a lot of people, but I don't have any reason to believe any of the nonsense that's said about him. I mean, I've had several conversations with him, and he comes across to me as a guy who cares and gives a fuck. A little out there. I ain't gonna say he's a little bit out there, but I got no issue with the guy. I never had no issue with him. He has some dirt on his hands. I used to work for them when they owned the gas station right there at Merriman, Michigan, back when I was 18 years old. That's at Wayne Memorial Education for you. LOL. We all went to Wayne. Yeah, I mean, I've never been. I don't know anything about Wayne Memorial, but man, I mean, I don't know what the hell they're teaching people. What they're teaching people there. City council heroes. Yeah, city council heroes. I mean, that's, I say that sarcastically, right? Like, they're heroes, right? And the police that aren't even, they're not even legally justifiable. When you look at, okay, this is the little bit of crime we have in Wayne. This is the amount of crimes that actually get solved. And it's just kind of like, what's the point of having the police force, right? Well, like, what's the point of having, in the city of Wayne's case, it could all be contracted out to Westland or Canton, or probably not Canton. Canton don't want to be involved in that shit show. But if Westland, if Norwayne exists in Westland, so can Wayne. Wayne can be a neighborhood in Westland, just like Norwayne is. I used to work for them. Wayne seems to cover a lot of Inkster if you listen to the scanner a lot. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, there's really the east side of Wayne's kind of shit. I mean, it's, that's where the crime is. I mean, but no, I mean, yeah, I would imagine that they really don't have shit to do here most of the time. They certainly don't put their resources to good use. But yeah, man, you gotta Zane Ron 6057. Yeah, shoot me an email, JerichoFlowers81@gmail, or text me 248-717-1557. We'll link up, or just stop by the house, Glenwood Road, Glenwood and Newburgh. Glenwood and Newburgh, 3 houses down from the Dollar Tree. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 houses down. 4 houses down from the Dollar Tree. Ain't hard to find. Yeah, so far I don't really have any complaints against Inkster or Dearborn. Yeah, Inkster, I've never had an issue out there. Um, Dearborn, I've heard some things about Dearborn, but again, as you said, I've never had any complaints. Wayne and Westland, yeah, Wayne and Westland, they're two peas in the same pod, really. But they're uh, they're special. But I don't think it's fair to really compare the two because at least Westland, at least Westland has a real leader, right? Say what you want about Kevin Coleman, but at least he's a real leader. At least, um, they have a mayor-run city, a mayor-council city. They don't have a council manager system, which the city of Wayne does. So, yeah, it's Wayne is a special type of shithole, but it doesn't have to be like this, guys. That's why we're gonna run for mayor, and we're gonna keep running for mayor because we have to get rid of the status quo. We don't have a choice. We just don't have a choice, guys. My wife's tired of looking at it. I'm tired of looking at it. A lot of people are tired of looking at it, and so yeah, a lot of people are tired of it, right? Oh yeah, I'm sure Westland's got. I'm sure Westland. And if I were to do some digging, I would imagine, and from what I've read in the law library too over the years, or not over the years, but I've searched up the city of Westland, some of their lawsuits, and yeah, they're just like I said, a bigger version of Wayne, but even Westland is not even close to Wayne. Wayne is, like I said, I believe, in my opinion, Wayne is the most corrupt city in all of Michigan, one of the most corrupt in the Midwest. And I say that wholeheartedly, without a doubt. The city of Wayne, it's like the University of Michigan football program. It needs to be completely gutted from top to bottom. House needs to be cleaned completely out, and need a fresh start. Need a complete fresh start. That's the only way. It's the only way the city of Wayne's ever gonna, Otherwise, what's the point of just annex it into Westland, annex some of it into Westland or Canton or Inkster, and just be done with it, right? Or Romulus, I guess. If I don't know, they would. I don't know. Like I said, it's a tough sell, but somebody would take it, right? Somebody would take the city of Wayne and you know treat its taxpayers, its residents, better than it's doing now. Yeah. No, I'm sure, man. I mean, like I said, I've never heard anything good about Westland. Um, I just want to illustrate just how bad Wayne really is. I mean, I'm sure Wayne probably gets a lot of their pointers right from Westland, but no, I think Wayne has them beat. But no, I mean, if you're even in the same conversation as Wayne, then clearly there's some problems. And in Westland there's a lot of problems in Westland. No, it's yeah. I mean, really, Wayne's just Westland Junior, but Wayne's a lot older of a city. Wayne's been around for a lot longer, and yeah, it's in the last 10 years especially, the corruption's just gotten just off the scale crazy. Wayne will arrest you for jaywalking in a dead end street in a subdivision, but they will let a person go that is out fighting in somebody's front yard trying to run them over with a vehicle while they're on parole. Yeah, I believe that 100%. I believe that. Cheers to that. That sounds like a pretty accurate way to describe the city of Wayne, Michigan. Sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, or even better, yeah, I got one for you. The city of Wayne will put disabled veterans in jail on the basis of an ordinance that doesn't even exist. Right? They'll break into your house without a warrant to enforce a non-enacted, non-codified internal policy that was never an ordinance. They'll break into your house to enforce it, and then they'll charge you with interference. They'll break into your house without a warrant, without consent, without probable cause, without exigent circumstances to enforce a law that does not even exist, and then they'll charge you with obstruction, right? And then they'll make you serve beyond the sentence that's even statutorily allowable, and then they'll double down and get probation out of you too. That's the city of Wayne. Even though legally, statutorily, they can't even get probation from you because you've already served the maximum sentence. That's what the guideline says. So once you meet the guideline, then that's it, right? But, like I said, the city of Wayne, Michigan is clown world, guys. Once you understand that the rules of the regular world don't apply in Wayne, Michigan. Wayne, Michigan's a special case, which, that's why I said we're treating them very specially. Very specially, and we just want to get it on the record. We just want to get the truth on the record. We just want the people to know the truth about the city of Wayne and their antics and how they run things. And excuse me. We just want to make sure that it's preserved for the historical record, right? We want people to know, this white man and this black man right beside me, we both want the people of this great country to know the truth about May 9th, May 19th, July 5th, about the Wayne Police and Fire Department and, their antics, right? We just want people to know, because if they can mess with me, guys, everybody else, man, they're in deep trouble then. I mean, if I got 3 acres and I can't have a bonfire pit in my backyard without the police breaking into my shit to enforce a law that doesn't exist, right? Well, then just imagine, you and your 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre, 1/10 of an acre, 1 acre, 2 acre, whatever you got, whatever you call home. Just imagine how fucked you are, right? I mean, just saying, right? We're all in this together, folks, and sometimes, you got to call a spade, right? That was my 4th of July video. Oh, yeah, 4th of July video. And they will lie on their police report. Oh, yeah, their police reports are the best. That's great for the next video. We'll go over those police reports in great details, guys, so you can see just how professional and how just competent the City of Wayne Police Department is. Yeah, I'll show you their lovely police report where you'll see it's amazing. Police reports. They're amazing police reports that contradict themselves. But I don't know. I guess like a double negative is a positive in Wayne. I don't know. That's only in math, guys. When you add a negative and a negative, you just get a bigger negative. But they're multiplying instead of adding and subtracting. Police reports do not line up with video. Oh, they never do. That's the whole point. That's why I said. I mean, it's amazing that you can get charged with perjury if you lie to a judge, but a police officer can just fabricate an entire police report, use that as evidence, right? And then suffer no consequences for it. That's when you know you live in a just and fair society. That's when you know, right? That's when you know. Only in America. No, sadly, not only in America, but yeah. It's got to change, guys. Got to change. Police reports do not line up with videos. You have to love the videos. Yeah, I mean, that's typical nowadays. I don't need, like, the police reports. The police reports are so biased and poorly written that they basically they can't even be used at this point, right? The average case. You just got to look at the footage and that's it. Because, cops lie all the time, and thank God for body cameras. Now they're trying to get rid of them because they don't like them. Because they don't want you to believe your lying eyes, guys. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes. Trust the 29th District Court and Judge Brito O'Leary. They'll give you the truth and the real deal. Mm-hmm. Of course, they'll just sit there and play dumb and say, "Oh, let him eat cake," and they'll just sit there and play dumb. So, but it is Tuesday, and it is time to let him eat cake. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be handing out some cakes. Hope you guys are staying safe and warm. And I got to cut down a couple trees. Got to get some firewood burning. Well, it's been nice talking to you. Before I got to hit the road tonight, I also want to tell you thank you for your service. Yeah, anytime. Anytime. Appreciate you for your support. We'll be in touch, buddy. Take care. Take care.